you've got other investors who say, no, 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 jump into Bitcoin. I want to play for you. One comment from one of our guests earlier runs this Bitcoin fund or Phil Tilt Capital. And this is what he said about gold. I want to get your take on it.
Sure. I don't know anybody under the age of 30 who's buying gold.
Hey, that's true. That's a little dig, though, at the older generation, isn't it?
Listen, I don't know that many people over the age of 30 that are buying gold either.
Well, it's actually true in the United States. Now, you go around the world, the Chinese are buying gold. Russia has tripled their gold reserves in the last 10 years. China has tripled their gold reserves in the last 10 years. Countries like Turkey, Iran, I call this the axis of gold. So these countries and these central banks and sovereign wealth funds are buying gold. In the United States, now, I buy gold. I talk to my dealer. I say, how's business? It goes, never been worse, But there is something generational. I have 3 millennial children, so it makes me an expert on this. With Bitcoin, we're getting more data, and it is predominantly younger people under the age of 35, predominantly male. I don't know the reasons for that, but it's kind of like 70%.
Right. But do you see Bitcoin disrupting gold?
No, not at all. There is a little bit of, they're really just separate spheres. I don't see money going out of gold into Bitcoin. You got your Bitcoin buyers and your gold buyers. The Bitcoin buyers, unfortunately, that's going to $200. They have a long way down. Gold will make its way there.
James, we heard from the Winklevoss twins. They've obviously got a stake in Bitcoin. They said this increased regulatory environment, the increased regulatory crackdown on the cryptocurrency space, that was ultimately going to prove a positive for Bitcoin.
Well, it won't. Now, look, the Winklevoss twins and Mark Andreessen and Blythe Masters, a lot of really smart people are in this space. The Winklevoss own Bitcoin, but they're not primarily buying and trading Bitcoin. What they're investing in is the blockchain technology, and I think the better word for it, distributed ledger technology. Although, interestingly, it looks like IBM and Intel are running away with that field. So I've been a big fan of blockchain. There are certain cryptos that don't depend on a criminal use case, which is the case with Bitcoin. They actually have utility in terms of more efficient payment systems. If you had to spend $60 to send $50 in Bitcoin, not a very attractive transaction. So Bitcoin is a dead end. It's kind of like you have different hominids, and Bitcoin is the Neanderthal. They'll die out. But some of these other coins may have a future. I'm not anti-coin. I'm definitely anti-Bitcoin, just because it's it's a waste of money. It's a dead end.
So Bitcoin Cash maybe could be something you'd look at. I mean, that's got greater practical uses. It's got shorter transaction times, smaller fees.
Yeah, a little bit better, but not close. So you have to compete with Visa. You have to compete with Visa, MasterCard, and PayPal. So show me a coin that's faster, easier, and less expensive than Visa, MasterCard, and PayPal. Then I'll pay attention to that. But there are a couple that have that potential, by the way, but not Ripple, not Ether, not Bitcoin Cash, not any of the ones you mentioned. The fans are talking about this Lightning Network. I mean, if you understand what Lightning is, it's basically saying, let's take our transaction off the blockchain. A whole bunch of us will do all these transactions, and we'll net them out like a clearinghouse, and then we'll bring it to the blockchain. But once you go off the Bitcoin blockchain, you now have to trust the group you're in. Remember, Satoshi Nakamoto said this is a trustless system. Turns out there's no such thing as a trustless system. Even with Bitcoin, with that blockchain, you have to trust the miners. What if Russia put $50 billion, got 51% of the computing power, created a block that said they owned all the Bitcoin in the world, including yours, and validated the block? End of story. There's no recourse. There's nothing you can do about it. And that's cheaper than building aircraft carriers. My point is, there's no such thing as a trustless system. You just have to understand where the risk actually lies.